All right, we got a lot of visitors in the restaurant today. So I want you guys as a group to tell them at Café Momentum, what is the standard?
Excellence.
Why? Why?
Oh my God.
The current model for youth justice in our country has produced the same outcome decade after decade. The reality is that there's over 728,000 youth that enter the system every single year in this country.
And 80% of those incarcerated youth are rearrested within 3 years. So 8 years ago, Chad Hauser took a huge risk. He staffed his award-winning restaurant in Dallas, Texas, entirely with kids from the juvenile justice system.
The not-so-subtle version of what we do, we take kids out of jail and teach them to play with knives and fire. We're literally working with the same population of justice-involved youth, but our model produces drastically different results. We went from having 54% having dropped out of school to 100% on track to graduate. It's the basic power of when somebody feels like others believe in them.
Café Momentum is on a mission to scale to 30 cities across the country. But can they have the same impact outside of Dallas?
The reality is, the second restaurant is always the hardest restaurant to build. Can we pull this off?
Thank y'all so much for coming here to help support Café Momentum.
This is Stand Together Presents. Stories, ideas, and advice from changemakers tackling our biggest challenges.
It's hard enough expanding a restaurant. Layer on top of that a nonprofit organization. Layer on top of that justice-involved youth. The model netted incredible results in Dallas, but it doesn't mean that we take a cookie-cutter model and then just turn around and flip it. One of the first things that we acknowledge is that communities are not monolithic.
Opening a new Café Momentum is different from opening a new restaurant. The nature of their program needs a ton of local support, and those relationships take time to build in each new city.
It's great that we want to be here, but the community needs to want us here as well. And we're showing the community what impact looks like so that they can begin to imagine then what that impact could look like on a larger scale with a permanent brick and mortar restaurant and community services center.
And now they're testing their approach in a city heavily impacted by juvenile crime, Nashville.
I truly believe Nashville was primed and ready for Café Momentum because the zip code of 37208, it has the highest incarceration rates in the country.
What we're doing in Nashville right now is addressing a need and then proving to the community what impact looks like when we use our model to address that need.
Within the zip code of 37208, 1 out of every 3 young men like Cameron are incarcerated.
It was just my mom taking care of me and my grandmother. I was just always watching her struggle.
Cameron's grandmother was on oxygen. After his mom lost her job, 15-year-old Cameron tried to find work to help keep the electricity on, but he couldn't get hired. He was too young.
I didn't know what to do. I felt like it was a life or death situation, so I went to the gas station. When I went to the cashier, I was telling him I'm not maliciously trying to do this. I'm just trying to pay my bills.
While Cameron was in juvie, Café Momentum was hosting a pop-up dinner in town, laying the foundation for their future expansion. And after just a few hours of training, Cam was cooking for hundreds of people.
That night, it changed my life. It did, it really did.
A young man that has fought his entire life to take care of himself and take care of his family, he was given one chance to show the world who he really was, and he did.
At that pop-up, Cameron was hired on the spot by the owner of a local restaurant. Fast forward to today, he's a sous chef at one of Nashville's hottest restaurants. And now, Cameron is helping train the next class, knowing their next pop-up could change their lives the way it did for him.
Yeah, exactly. Look at that. See, you don't have to say you can't do it, because you can.
The pop-up dinner serves as an incredible opportunity to change stereotypes, change hearts and minds, and to do it at scale. It was at a pop-up dinner just like this that Cameron was able to make a connection that would give him a chance, and that has completely changed the trajectory of his life. You're beginning to see what it looks like to have community start to rally around our young people and build out that ecosystem of support. That's how you start momentum.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having us today. Just to be out here today, tonight, it really means a lot to us, especially when we was told that we wouldn't be able to do this or that because we grew up over here or over there, or based off what our family members did before we was here.
It's an uphill battle. Our goal is to get a brick and mortar restaurant so that we can have these young people that are in this program for 8 weeks
for 12 months.
This is the most incredible young people you'll ever know in your entire life. And when you meet them, you have no other choice but to realize it yourself.
Café Momentum isn't stopping in Nashville. Because as they scale to new markets, they're showing the country a new vision of juvenile justice.
We want young people to thrive instead of survive. We offer a program that will help change generations.
Just as important as it is for us to expand, it is just as important, if not more important, for us to leverage that into building a much bigger conversation around what the model for youth justice could and should actually look like in this country. Is our objective to keep them out of prison? Or is our objective to provide them with opportunity, resource, mentorship, support so that they can truly see their full potential in life? Whatever that looks like.
Stand Together partners with changemakers tackling our biggest challenges. To see more stories, follow our channels. And to learn more about how you can partner with us, go to standtogether.org.